do a little bit of work. All right. So what I want to do is I want to start with question number 17 for the most part. All right. Now, again, I just really don't think anybody had trouble with this. All right. Because this is exactly what you were doing. You just had to do it in a multiple choice format. So what's the answer to number 17?
169.
So I have the square root of 169. Does anybody else have anything to say on that? Anybody else think it's wrong? Anybody would like what?
It's got a square root, so couldn't it be simplified?
Well,
But it's not one of the answer choices, I know.
yes, square root of 169 is in fact 13. So let's just double check that to make sure they're correct. So the square root, 9 minus 4 is 5 plus 4. Now remember that's plus 8. So that is correct. 25 plus 144 square root of 169. I agree with you. They should have put 13. All right. So if you're okay with 17, give yourself a check. You've kind of paid attention yesterday. That's good. All right. Now this one I'm telling you, if you didn't know, you could use the calculator. Right. But again, I want everyone to make sure they make this note if they didn't know this. Anything to the 1/2 power is the same as the square root. So I want to rewrite this as the square root of 9 plus the square root of 16 squared. That's what I'd like everyone to do, just to make sure. The square root can be written as a power that's 1/2. All right. Now look how easy this is. What's the square root of 9?
3,
What's the square root of 16?
4,
What's 3 plus 4? 7 squared.
7.
Yes. All right. Again, please give yourself a nice little check if you're understanding these. All right. If you're not sure about something, now's the time. Please remember what I told you. All right. Speak up. All right. You also, some of you guys are going to private schools, are going to have entrance exams. All right. They're going to ask you questions. That's why I'm glad where we're at. We're sitting pretty good. Anybody have any issues? All right. Let's see how you did on 19. Now, some of you came to my desk and didn't understand what this meant. X cubed equals 64. What does X equal then? 4. How do we know that? 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. That is absolutely correct. So everybody underneath that, write X equals 4. Now that you know X equals 4, you can actually answer the question now, because the question is just 4 squared plus the square root of 4. 16 plus 2, 18. All right. Again, if you know that, give yourself a nice little pat on the back. All right. That's good. Okay. Finally, something a little bit more challenging. What does A equal? So you see where this A is right here? Plug it in. So that means 2 times 5 radical 2 is equal to radical 2x. Does everybody agree with that? Now, what is 2 times this? 10 radical 2. That's exactly correct. Now, how do I get rid of a radical? Square it. Thank you. Wow. Squaring both sides. When I square both sides, what's 10 squared? What's the square root of 2 squared?
2.
Come on, stay with me. What's 100 times 2?
200.
So X equals 100. Give yourself a nice little pat on the back. That was directly off an SAT test. All right, that was like question number 20, which was supposed to be hard. Like I said, I don't understand it. For kids going to college, how are you asking them to do that? All right, that's it. All right, very simple. All right, does anybody need me to go over that? Now, please, I keep saying every day, please don't sit there and not know something. Anybody have any questions or any thoughts on that? All right, even if you didn't know how to do it, now you're looking at going, okay, I see what he did. All right, anybody? All right, here we go. 21, everybody should have gotten this one right. Correct answer is what? A. What's the square root of 9? 3. So I know it's not C or D. What's the square root of x squared? There it is. Some of you make mistakes because you accidentally square instead of take the square root. All right. Again, that's right off an SAT question. All right. Believe it or not. What's that? Yeah, I know. I don't understand it either. All right. I really don't. All right. Here we go. 22. Now, this one is so pitiful. All right, I'm trying to show you some test-taking strategies now. They're saying, is the answer 1 or is the answer 9 or is it both or is it neither? Well, what's the easiest way to do this problem? Just plug them in. If I plug 1 in, what's 1 minus 3? Is it possible for a square root to be negative? So is it 1? So I cross out 1 is not an answer. So if 1 is not an answer, A is no good, C is no good. Now I plug in 9. What's 9 minus 3? What's 9 times 4? What's square root of 36? Is that an answer? Yeah, you see what I'm saying? I don't understand how some of you are acting and not working. Anybody with me on that? Come on, how simple is that? Again, directly off an SAT test. I don't even understand it, honestly. Just plugging the numbers in. I know what you're saying. Some maybe don't know what Roman numerals are. I understand that. All right, 23. Here we go. Now, the silly thing about this is they give you the formula. So you forgot what the formula for volume is. So the volume is 24 pi. So we write down 24 pi equals 1/3 pi. What's the radius? We don't know. R squared. What's the height? 2. There you have it. What's 1/3 times 2? 1/3 times 2. Come on now. 2 is the same as 2 over 1. Don't look at me like I'm crazy and don't use your calculator. 2/3. 2/3 pi r squared. What can I do to the pi's? Cancel them out. If you want to see why, just divide both sides by pi. 24 equals 2/3 r squared. How do I get rid of 2/3? Multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply by 3/2. What's 24 divided by 2? Times 3. 36 equals r squared. And then take the square root. And so r is what? R is 6. Yeah, I didn't think that was that hard either. Yes, good for you.
So it's like a side thing. So it's negative with like one SAT problem. You can find the answer without even using the problem.
Yeah.
Like one like
Well, actually, I'm happy with your explanation, but listen to this though. No, I know what you're saying. I'm trying to help you with there are definite strategies that I try to teach kids to help them on the SATs to try to get perfect scores. All right, this is a case where if you forgot how to do it, I could literally just plug 6 in for, I just plug in the answer, 6, 12, and 36. 6 squared times 2 times pi times 1/3. Guess what that is? 24 pi. Therefore, I know my answer. You with me on that? Again, you can work backwards just by plugging in the answers. All right, I understand that. Yes, ma'am.
Can you show me the part where you did the 24 times?
Yes, thank you. Once again, you ready? Listen to me carefully. Divide first. So when I have 24 times 3/2, I want you to say to yourself, what is 24 divided by 2? 12. Do you agree with that? And then 12 times 3. And that's how I got the 36. Now, if you wanted to, you could do 24 times 3, which is 72, and then 72 divided by 2, which is 36. But making numbers bigger is generally harder. You agree with that? All right. Anybody else? Thank you. All right. 24. Now, here it's telling you that x is what? 9. So what do you think I should do with that 9? Plug it in. So now I have the square root of k plus 2 minus 9 equals 0. And if you paid attention yesterday, you know you isolate the radical. So I add 9 to both sides. So now I have the square root of k plus 2 equals 9. Now what do I do to both sides? Square both sides. K plus 2 equals 81. So k must have been 79. Now, if you're like, why would we do all that work when I can just say 79 plus 2 is what?
81.
Square root of 81 is 9 minus 9 is? That is the answer then. All right. I tell a lot of my high school kids, you're just lazy. That's what the problem is. You think you know something, so you just give up. You don't even bother plugging numbers into the formulas. The most basic thing to do is just, if you don't know something, look at the answers and plug them in. All right. That'll be a big help for some of you next week, hopefully. All right. Here we go. This one over here. Now, I want everybody to understand, I'm not expecting you to know how to do that. What am I, what?
I have a question about the last.
Good. Thank you.
Why wouldn't you move like the 2 like this, like a plus 2? Why wouldn't you-
Because it's under a radical. That's a very good question. You with me on this? If it was just like this right here, this minus 9 outside the radical, I just moved it over to get it away from the radical. But I cannot move the 2 because technically that's a square root of 2, not just 2. You with me on this? All right. Now, for number 25, I want everyone. If you didn't do number 25, you can just do what? Plug the numbers in. Who knows what the answer is to 25? What was it, Tucker? A. Let's see if he's right. Let's plug 8 in. What's 8 plus 8?
16.
I'm sorry. What's 8 plus 28?
36.
36. Minus 2. What's 8 plus 1?
9.
9. What's square root of 36?
6.
What's square root of 9?
3.
Times 2. 6 minus 6. Yeah, you guys, there's just, in my opinion, there's no excuse. Right? There's no, that's just simple math. That's just, wow, how do you beat a standardized test? You don't have to do all the work. All right. What I mean by doing all the work is you have to isolate the radical. So if I was teaching my kids, I would say the square root of x plus 28 equals 2 radical x plus 1. Then I do what? I square both sides. So x plus 28 equals 4 times x plus 1. X plus 28 equals 4x plus 4. Subtract. And I end up with 3x equals 24. So x equals 8. It was much quicker just to do what? Plug it in.
Where did, so what happened to the -2?
I'm physically moved this over to this side. So the -2 became a what? That is correct. In other words, I'll show you what I did. I added 2 radical x plus 1. I added 2 radical x plus 1. Now I have the radicals separated and isolated. You with me? That's why I'm saying, what was easier? What was the best way to do it? Just plug them in.
But it's still square root of 3 plus 2.
The square root of what?
The square root of 9 is 3.
There's a multiplication sign here. Right? Multiplication. All right. So again, guys, I do thank you for your patience on that. I just think that was super duper important. All right. Super important. All right. So now I need everybody to pull up the next worksheet, which is solving quadratics by taking the square root.
Is there also SAT questions on this one?
I'm going to be honest. No. Pull it up, please. Man, I'm having a hard time. Okay, now, one of the most important things you do in math is factoring. So we're just going to review solving a quadratic by factoring. All right, solving a quadratic by factoring. All right, so we're going to do the odds. All right, I can show you today is super easy also, especially if you know how to factor. So everyone in here should be able to confidently tell me what this factors to. Go.
X minus 7, x minus 5.
Wow, does that feel great? 8 minus or x minus 7 times x minus 5. Now, if you're looking at that going, man, I know I should know that, but I don't. You're welcome to raise your hand and say, come on, just show me. I'm sorry. Anybody have any problems with that? All right, now to solve it, we set the factors equal to 0. X minus 7 equals 0. X minus 5 equals 0. So x is either equal to or 5. Beautiful. That's it. That's it. I know. That's the end.
So we're just factoring.
Yeah, we're just factoring. When we get down a little bit more, I say solve by taking the square root. All right, here we go. I need help with number 3. How am I factoring that?
X plus 8, x minus 5.
Wow, that's really good. X plus 8 times x minus 5 equals 0. So x is what?
5 or
Negative 8 or 5. Beautiful. You said you're right. Perfect. I'm happy. All right. If you know that, honestly, you're pretty good at algebra. Anybody have any doubts? All right. Now the next one's a little bit harder because the leading coefficient is a 5. So come on. Let's do the factoring, Trimble. You working back there? Max, how are you doing on this?
5x minus 6.
Oh, hold on. Somebody thinks they know. Austin always thinks he knows. Go, Austin. Shh, I'm listening.
Maybe it's 5x minus 6. X plus 2.
Ooh, you were so close. You see why it's -1? Right? So again, we're doing our smiley faces. -6 and -5 makes -11. -6 times -1 makes the +6. All right, so now everyone knows from here, you don't have to put equals 0 anymore because we're brilliant. We can just look at the first one and say, I know x equals what? 6/5. Wow, thank you. And then the second one is 1. Beautiful. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. Uh-oh, we got a problem here.
I'm sorry, I think I missed it. Why would it be 6/5?
Why is it 6/5? All right, so I have to take you back to this part. You set it equal to 0. Add 6, divide by 5. You with me on this?
Yeah.
Add 6, divide by 5. Perfect. Thank you for asking. Xavier, how am I doing today? Good. Max? All right, here we go. Number 7. We are factoring that to what?
5 plus 1 x plus 8.
Anybody agree with that?
X is 1/5 of
This is 1 and 40, makes 41. Now, don't make a mistake on the last part of the problem. X equals what? Austin thinks he's right again. Go ahead, Austin. Yeah, we know that. You don't have to tell us. X equals what? Beautiful. Or? Yes. Congratulations. Uh-oh, we got a problem here. Shh. Okay, so look right here. It just goes back to the equation part. So what I need you to do is just write 5x plus 1 equals 0, right? Then it's just minus 1, minus 1. And then divide by 5, divide by 5. You see it? All right. Anybody have any issues? All right, now the new topic. All right, simple, simple, simple. On all of these problems, there is no x term, there's just an x squared, which means they're really simple. All right, you're isolating the x squared. That's what you're doing. You're isolating the x squared. So I'm going to go slow, the first one. I'm adding 9. So then 9x squared equals 9. Then I do what? Divide by 9. So x squared equals 1. Now, how do I undo a square? You take the square root. Now, what is the square root of 1? But how many solutions should there be here? 2. So that helped me remember that x is equal to plus or minus 1. X is equal to plus or minus 1. That's how simple this is. All right, so here we go. Let's try number 11. What do I have to do first? Add 6. 4x squared equals 400. Now what? Divide by 4. X squared equals, how many solutions are there? So x equals plus or minus 10. We are great. That is easy. We got a problem. Go. You.
How do you get?
You're asking me what 400 divided by 4 is.
How do you get from 100 to 10?
We take the square root. To undo a square, we take the square root. You good with this now? All right, anybody else have a problem? Math problem, that's what we're talking about. All right, here we go. Number 13, I have to do what first? Minus 4, so 2x squared equals 20. Then what? So x squared equals, we got a major problem here. Is 10 a perfect square? No. What? Oh, plus or minus what? Stop with that noise. Stop with that garbage. What are you talking about? Here it goes, Xavier. No. Come on.
Okay, so it's start with the radical.
Stop with this. Radical 10. How do you break down radical 10? Oh, that's what you, everyone knows the answer as soon as I put it up on the board. Oh, yeah, Jensen. Right. Right. You were still sleeping an hour ago. All right. Here we go. Let's see how we're doing with 15. What are we doing first? All right, so here we go. 5x squared equals 120. X squared equals, let me help you out, 24. Or 6, something close. All right.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
5 times 6.
All right,
You do
now
divide by
we're taking the square root. All right, so now I need everybody to put plus or minus. Now, what is the perfect square in 24 this time?
4,
4, so that comes out as a,
2,
so the answer is plus or minus.
2 radical 6.
Yep, 2 radical 6. Come on, guys, I'm telling you that's easy.
Wait, can you like do this stuff?
Can I do what?
Like, I know how, so you go 4 times 6.
You want me to write that down 4 times 6 for you?
No, not like that.
Yeah.
Well, the square root of 4 is what?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, thanks.
You could be wrong.
Shh. Stop.
I'm betting on Austin.
Stop. Here we go. Now, isolating the x squared. I have to move an x squared over with the other x squared. So that leaves me x squared subtracting 4 equals 80. We've done 80 100 times. So square root. Yes, which is
4 radical 5.
4 radical 5. Don't forget the
Plus or minus.
plus or minus 4 radical 5. Now, some of you guys are with me. 80, remember, is 16 times 5. All right. Come on, it's really simple, especially if you know how to break down square roots. What? Come on. All right, number 19. Now I'm subtracting x squared. That would make how many? 6x squared. Now I have to subtract 36. So that's going to give me
50.
what? What are you guys talking about, please? 48. Some of you guys just get out your calculator, your mental math skills, right? So now x squared equals what? What are we talking about?
8. Stop.
How are we getting 50?
That's like,
Shh.
You can still be right.
That's all right, Austin. Austin's creating his own math back there. All right. So now take the square root. X is equal to what?
2 and radical plus or minus 2.
Yeah, plus or minus 2 radical 2. And again, listen to me, please. I'm just telling you, you should be getting better now at understanding when you see 8, it's just 2 radical 2. That shouldn't even cross your mind. We've done it so many times. All right, now tell me. Shh. Okay, because remember, the fundamental theorem of algebra, believe it or not, that is a thing. This exponent tells you the number of solutions there are. So there are automatically 2 solutions. Now listen to me real quick, so this will help you. If I said x squared equals 9, do you agree x equals 3, right? But we could also say negative 3, because negative 3 squared is 9 also. All right, so here we go. 21. All right, now just a little bit harder, just a little bit. So pay attention, this is new. I'm still adding 6. So I have x plus 5 squared equals 49. Now I get rid of, so now what's the square root of 49? No. What's the square root of 49? No. Plus or minus? Plus or minus what? 7. Everybody has to put that down. So now I have x plus 5 equals plus or minus 7. Now I subtract 5. X equals negative 5 plus or minus 7. Now we don't leave it like this, because what is negative 5 plus 7? 2. Or what's negative 5 minus 7? Negative 5 minus 7, negative 12. Now, again, this is something you need to look at, and I'm going to say it one more time. Everybody look up and make sure you're with me. Still isolating the square. So I added 6 to both sides and got 49. To undo a square, I do a square root. Now, remember, when I say what's the square root of 49, you normally would say 7, but because we're doing an equation, it is plus or minus. All right, so x plus 5 is equal to plus or minus 7. Then I subtract 5. Now you hopefully understand what I'm saying when I'm telling you -5 plus 7, and then -5 what? Minus 7. Those are my two solutions. All right, so let's see if I can show you something now in 23. What do I do first? So good, guys. X minus 4 squared equals 5. Now what do I do?
Square root.
So x minus 4 equals plus or minus radical 5 or square root of 5. Now what do I have to do?
That's the 4.
Add 4. So x equals 4 plus or minus the square root of 5. Can I do anything with the 4 and the square root? No, because one's rational and one is irrational. You cannot combine them. You can only combine rationals with rationals and irrationals with irrationals, not a rational and an irrational. Now, once again, I just don't think that's that bad. All right, so here we go on 25. I have to do what? And of course, I'm not going to ask you 32 minus 8.
25.
Yep, good. All right. Now I do what?
Square root.
Now, of course, we've done the square root of 24 100 times. So everybody's looking at that just saying that's 2 radical 6. But we're not just going to say 2 radical 6. We're going to say plus or minus 2 radical 6. And now what?
X equals minus 7 plus or minus 2 radical 6.
You are amazing. That's exactly correct, guys. Exactly. All right. It's not difficult. It looks complicated. It's not. All right. Here we go. First thing I need to do is what?
Minus 1.
Okay. So that's 72. Now I have to do what? Square root. Now, who can remember, how did we break down 72 100 times? No. Say it again, Austin. Or Tremble. What did you say? 36 and 2. Very good. So the square root of 72, I really want everybody to know, is plus or minus 6 radical 2. And then 3x minus 2. So now what do I have to do to both sides?
Add 2.
Add 2. So now I have 3x equals 2 plus or minus 6 radical 2. Now what? Divide it all by 3. So x equals 2 plus or minus 6 radical 2 all over what? 3. Nice work. All right, next.
Oh, right. Oh, just kidding.
Next, what? What am I doing?
Minus 4.
Minus 4. 6x plus 3 squared equals
Radical 1.
1.
And then you
Then I do what? You're right.
you radical both.
You radical both.
The answer's still 1.
6x plus 3, but we're not just going to say 1.
Equals plus or minus 1.
Yeah, come on, everybody help me.
And then
Plus or minus 1.
minus 3, so the 6x equals minus negative 3 plus or minus 1, and then you divide all of it by 6, so it goes x negative 3 plus or minus 1 over 6.
That's exactly correct. However, the final step here is to combine. All right, so I need everybody to listen to me now. Here's what I want you to write. Negative 3 plus 1 over 6. What's negative 3 plus 1? Negative 2 divided by 6. Negative 1/3. All right, then what we're going to do is we're going to do negative 3 minus 1 divided by 6. And what's negative 3 minus 1? And negative 4, 6 reduces to, come on, don't forget the negative. All right, so again, guys, I can't emphasize to you, believe it or not, that is extremely difficult. All right, I don't understand it either. That's really hard. All right, so again, I always tell kids it's just practice. That's all it's got to do. All right, I don't think that's that difficult. All right, so now, of course, your job is to go home and do the evens. All right, please do me a favor. Make sure you're working. All right. Hey, listen to me. I'm trying to make your last 9 weeks easy. All right, but you still got to do the work. We're not going to have much tests. I'm not going to stress you out that much. I'm asking you to do the work. If I think you're doing the work, then I'm not worried about it. All right. So again, please do the work. All right, do the work. Don't be lazy. All right, I know we only have now 8 weeks left. All right, not much time for me to get some stuff into your brain, especially those you guys are going to be taking standardized tests. You do not want to take Algebra 1 over. You do not, trust me. All right. Please learn what you can. All right, get busy now. All right, get busy doing the evens. I'll post it and you can check your work. That was actually a great day though.